Hi, I'm Terry Likes, and welcome to another edition of Communication Connection. This is a program that focuses on the accomplishments of faculty, students, and alumni involved with the Department of Communication. Our focus of this program is going to be talking about MSU Theater and one of our new faculty members, and we are delighted to have Tonya Hays joining the faculty this fall and joining us here on the program. Tonya, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
It's wonderful to be here.
Tonya, you have an extensive background, which we'll get to here in a moment, but tell us, you've taught at MSU before part-time. Now you're joining the faculty full-time. We're thrilled to have you joining us. Tell us a little bit about your background and what brought you to Mississippi State.
So I have an extensive background in theater for young audiences. I've worked for a nonprofit for a number of years and built the Wings Performing Arts program. I've also taught at the college level and taught at the high school level and worked extensively throughout schools in Mississippi. What brought me to MSU was Melanie Harris thought it would be great to offer a theater for young audiences course to the students at MSU, and it was a delightful experience. I commuted. It was a crazy commute from the Gulf Coast, but fell in love with the students and the faculty, and it was just a very joyful experience.
Well, we're going to gush on you a little bit here because you have so many interesting things in your background. To let our audience know, you're the recipient of the Mississippi Arts Commission Artist Fellowship in Theater. You've been recognized with the Sarah Spencer Award for your work in theater for young audience, as you alluded to. And you've been awarded by the Southeastern Theater Conference. It's certainly a lot of accolades, and you must be very proud of all of these accomplishments.
I'm proud but humbled. I just feel honored to be able to work in something that I love, and then actually get accolades for it. That's a bonus.
Well, you've also been recognized the Mississippi Humanities Council Educator of the Year Award, three-time winner, Best Director from the Mississippi Theater Association. So the honors keep going on. And something else that, people outside the theater world might not have heard of some of these, but I think something we all have recognized is the Tony Awards. Tell us what it's like to be a Tony Award nominee and to be able to be part of that process.
It was a tremendous honor. The American Theater Wing decided to recognize theater teachers because our impact is such that we maybe influence those people that actually end up on Broadway and are eligible for the award. So several of my students from the current students at the time and students from several years ago, including one that was a guest artist yesterday for my classes from the New Jersey, New York area, nominated me. It was just an incredible honor and exciting to be able to say that on my CV.
Well, the pandemic has caused people to adjust a lot of things in their daily lives, and it certainly forced MSU Theater to make some changes in how we deliver theatrical productions to our audience. You mentioned you enjoy working with youth, and the children's theater is certainly a focus of MSU Theater, but one of the things we can't do is actually bring the children to our theater. So what kind of plans have you and Melanie Harris and one of our other new colleagues, Matt Webb, been able to do this fall semester when it comes to the children's production?
Well, I think in facing the challenges of this year, one of the things that really spoke to me was in a conversation with Melanie Harris. Melanie said, "Gosh, I'm so sorry that you're having to come into the department with all these challenges, what we're facing." And Matt responded, "We're storytellers, and it's our job to tell the story. However, we have to do that." And that's what we told the students. We're going to tell the story. We're going to continue doing theater. So we reached out to the schools. Unfortunately, they're not able to have visitors on campus. Our students really, really wanted to do a children's show, so we decided to take it outside, to take it to parks. We've had a homeschool group that pretty much filled our capacity. We've done it on campus, and we'll continue with additional park shows as well.
That really meant a change as far as your delivery method, of course, but how the students really seem to embrace it. And we have some photos here to show how the students were preparing for this. Tell us a little bit about the production, the Commedia by Robin Hood, or Commedia of Robin Hood, that is. Tell us more about that and what the students had to do in order to prepare, because obviously it's not on a stage and there's different movement involved, at my understanding.
Right, so Commedia characters, they come from Italy. They were stock characters. They had specific masks that they wore, and they behaved a certain way. They were stereotypes, and a lot of our comedy today is still based on those stereotypes. So obviously we had to rehearse outside because the play was going to be outside. The students are wearing masks, as you see, but they also will wear the Commedia masks as the characters. So the whole mask situation was just tied in as an element of the play. We just embraced it. Working outside, of course, you're dealing with all kinds of different distractions, planes, trains, automobiles. But they've really done an incredible job. They've worked extremely hard. We had a workshop with a professional clown, a former MSU student in New York City. We were able to bring him in virtually to work with the students on the movement. They have learned a tremendous amount about this genre of theater. They have had a ball, an absolute blast with it.
Well, and we're so delighted that we've also been able to do some work this semester and starting a collaboration with Starkville Community Theater. And we're certainly thankful to the city of Starkville and the administration for allowing us to be able to use the parks in this particular type of manner. Well, now you're setting your sights on a production called Anne and Emmett, and I think it's something that the audience is going to find quite interesting. Tell us a little bit more about Anne and Emmett, and then we'll talk about some of the offshoot things that will involve the community.
So Anne and Emmett is an imaginary meeting between Anne Frank and Emmett Till. The playwright, Janet Lang Cohen, is an African-American woman. She has a journalist background. She's married to William Cohen, who's the former Secretary of State under Clinton. And he is a Jewish man. So I'm sure that their relationship also inspired this. She wrote this play. It's not even published yet. And I found out about the play through Tim Matheny, whose position I am in right now. Fell in love with the story. And in talking with the students, they truly wanted to embrace the conversations that are going on, the challenging conversations about racial inequity, about intrinsic bias. So this play was the perfect vehicle for that. Also, Starkville Community Theater came to us and said, we'd really like to partner. They were so excited about this play. So we were thrilled to get the rights and to be able to share this. We have a full cast as well as an understudy cast. The understudy cast will also be able to do a full performance. We're in the second week of rehearsal right now, and it's going great.
Well, and as I mentioned, there are some offshoot implications, including working with the folks here at University Television regarding the performance. Tell us, the program obviously has cultural implications, but tell us about some of the other ways the community can be involved. I understand there's a talkback and more.
Right. So a really exciting thing that's happening is we are William Carey University is also doing the show. Our cast will be communicating virtually throughout this. We have lined up the playwright to speak as well. Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, we've lined up the playwright to speak. We're also working with William Carey University, and the playwright will be coming in the house. We are streaming the projections. Will be shared throughout the community. Even further than that, we have a scholar working with the show as well. Dr. Don Schaefer will be working with us. So lots is going on.
Well, I think these are wonderful ideas, again, given COVID-19 and everything that's circling around in the world, to be able to present this and to actually have dialogue with those in the community. Certainly some creative ideas that MSU Theater is coming up with this semester. And I know that it's important for you personally to be able to work with at-risk youth as far as the theater program is concerned. People of color, community building with theater is an emphasis that you've been involved with, and it's important to you, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. I'd like to see us embrace and create discourse on some of these challenging subjects.
Well, wonderful. Now that you're a full-time member of the MSU faculty, what do you look forward to in the future as far as MSU Theater? I know that you're teaching courses such as directing and playwriting and acting, but where would you like to see the MSU Theater program go in the future?
I'd like to see the students think about becoming theater makers, a broad approach. I think what's really important is that they create their own creative path. The guest artist that I brought in yesterday, a former student of mine, talked with them extensively about how you create your path and what kind of artist you need to be to embrace all different elements of theater and performance and the creative life, as well as make a difference in your community.
Well, Tonya, that's wonderful. I know you really enjoy working with your two new colleagues, Melanie Harris, you've known for a long time, and Matthew Webb has now joined us full-time this fall. There's certainly, in order to be able to pull all of these things together with MSU Theater and working with the students, the community, directors, actors, those behind the scenes, it really takes a collective effort and to be able to work well with a variety of different people, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. I think we have a great team. We balance each other well. We feed off each other's strengths and hold each other up in those areas that maybe we're not so strong in. And we're excited to create theater, whatever that looks like this year. I think it's eye-opening. I think it offers opportunities. The difference between a problem and an opportunity is the way you look at it and your mindset.
Well, one of the things that really impressed me too when I first arrived was the energy of the theater students. I mean, they are so involved, they really take the initiative, they're here after hours, and most of the time when people see a play, a performance, all they really see is what's on the stage, but to see what's going on behind the scenes, the energy, in this case of the students, the faculty, production, performers, it's truly an amazing thing to see it all come together, and MSU Theater certainly had some award-winning performances over the years. Tonya, we certainly hope that you're able to keep this success going and take us to new heights, and we're so thankful you're able to join us here on Communication Connection.
Thank you very much. It was a lot of fun, and I'm honored to be a part of this great institution.
Well, we're delighted to have you, and thank you again for joining us, and thank you for watching another edition of Communication Connection. I'm Terry Likes. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.